Look who it is. It is Jamie McLennan.
That's actually a great question.
News.
AC/DC at their age, worth going or not?
Are we going?
I got a buddy who's already booked everything. He's very excited. And then I showed him video and it was like, I don't know if I'm excited or not, but like one of them's 80 and they're still banging it. I don't know how to feel about it.
Are we going to AC/DC Noodles, Vancouver, BC Place?
I mean, I would. I'm always up for a concert. Angus looks a little weathered. How old would he be? Is he 80? Is he, how old are these guys?
Not 60.
No, they're not 60. Like, I'm close to 60. They've got to be 80 or more.
Yeah, we had this conversation.
Angus is 69 and the other guys are older because I think Angus joined later, if I'm right.
Yeah,
no, Angus is
or maybe older.
So I feel like I saw Angus and whatever that singer is. I can't remember his name because I think he's not the original one, right? It's the karaoke one. They were on Howard Stern at like 8:00 in the morning singing that they did it. So, and I liked it, but I mean, Angus, he's got some miles on him. I don't know. AC/DC, if you said, hey, we're going in Vancouver, fly in, I'm not going to turn it down. I'm not going to turn it down.
Should there be a cutoff for that type of music? Like,
well, I mean, you know what you're seeing now? What you're seeing is a resurgence of some of the big bands in the 70s, 80s, 90s. I saw Tears for Fears came back. Blink-182 just did an unbelievable tour. You look at some of the bands.
Blink-182 is not 80.
Yeah, Brian Johnson's 77. That's quite a bit different than Blink-182.
Right. No, but what I'm saying is Blink-182 went away for 20 years, and now they're doing another tour. You're seeing a lot of these bands having a resurgence because people are starting to go back to the 90s and going, oh, that music was really good. Pearl Jam did some tours. Like you're looking at, and what it is they want money. They want streaming money. They want, so they go on tour. Blink-182, I've been watching them. Like I when I work out, I have videos downloaded. Like I miss them because when they were here in Toronto, I was out of town. But I would love to see them live. And also I think the lead singer and the bass player, he had cancer a couple of years ago, and I think he's back now. But I love them as a band. So if you're asking me these legendary bands, Bon Jovi, I saw a picture of him the other day. He's got the white hair, still good looking, but it's jarring to see him with like long gray hair, right? Yeah. But I would go see them. I've been fortunate enough in my life through my friends and stuff. David Bryan, who is the keyboardist from Bon Jovi, I've hung out with him like 10 times. He's an unbelievable guy. Unbelievable. So, I definitely would go see some legendary bands for sure.
But AC/DC is a unique, they have to bring it.
One of one.
Yeah, but
not a lot of ballads, eh?
Nowadays,
a lot of belting it out.
Like, you know what? They've got, what is that called? Not voiceover, but it's...
Next question for you. I'm going to interrupt you.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I don't like your answer. AI is coming. And it's going to change.
It's coming.
It's
here.
We're working on it.
I know, but it's going to AI to us idiots is, tell me how to do math. Like they're going to be AI generating AC/DC in their prime at a stadium. Are you paying to go watch that? Peter Marr's voice is going to call the Flames games again. Rick Jenneret is going to call the Buffalo Sabres games again. It's not that matters, but would you go watch an AI type of deal?
Didn't they have a hologram Michael Jackson?
And
Tupac.
Burning Man.
Tupac.
Yeah, Tupac. Same thing. I mean, it depends on the scenario, Rhett. If you and I, if we're hanging out and we've got a bottle of vodka and said, you know what, there's a concert playing tonight and it's, name a band. It's AC/DC, AI generated. It's Angus in his prime, no tarp off. He's jacked. He's running around. Or it's the Stones in the 80s and Keith Richards doesn't look like a saddlebag with eyes. Let's do it. I mean, I would do it, like that type of stuff. But it's what you want. It's what you want for that particular night. Like AI is changing the world. You can go on Twitter and you can see, Donald Trump and and Justin Trudeau wrestling in a UFC with their faces on AI. You could see that type of stuff. So I don't know. At the end of the day, yes, I think we have to get with the times, even though we're old.
But it's more about you and me and the vodka.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what
I was going to say,
You
there's a
name
lot
it.
of things you guys would sit and watch if you were into the vodka together.
You know what? And back in the day when I lived in Alberta, it was a bottle of Silk Tassel. I don't even know if they make that anymore. And I had long hair. And if you finished the bottle, you put your hair up with the tassel. That's what it was. That was a badge of honor. You went to the bar with your hair in a ponytail because you drank the whole bottle of Silk Tassel.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I saw you as a young man in your hockey gear the other day. My kids showed me a clip of I did the pie in the face of Gio's birthday, and they had interviewed you. Yeah.
I was there. Yes. I mean, you know what? It seems like for me, it's another. I don't know how you guys feel. It's just another. That's another lifetime. Like my son will show me something, or my daughter will say, "Daddy," my daughter's in grade 7. She'd be like, "Daddy, there was a boy talking about you at school. He pulled you up on YouTube." And I'm like, I'm making a skate save. It's like, it's awkward. It's like terrible.
Grainy, black and white.
It's upsetting to watch. Yeah, black and white.
Sorry, honey.
It's awkward. But I mean, you know what? That type of stuff it's kind of cool to look and go in another world or another lifetime. You were that person.
Yeah. And with AI, maybe again, we'll be buying tickets to go and watch you make skate saves.
So that would be awesome.
And in the vodka.
Just wait.
And the Silk Tassel.
Wait to see those kickbacks coming in. 20 cents. Another kick save on YouTube. All right.
I heard with the headsets, you're going to be able to buy tickets to events. Like
VR goggles or something?
Yeah. And be like you're at MSG watching the game.
Why wouldn't you?
Yes.
And you can change seats and you pay to be on the different seats.
Oh, isn't Jaden Daniels? Wasn't that his thing? He has a VR headset and they have a program that he goes to, I think, before every game, and they install all of the plays of the opposition in there, so he can see what's going on.
You know, there's for hockey players, I think it's called Sense Arena or whatever. Like you can put the head goggles on. The goalies are making the saves. The players are shooting. Like there's so much stuff that is coming. I'm trying to remember. I was in Dallas the other day, and I was at kind of a bar. And the bar was, it was like that.
It's like IMAX, basically, right? And
but it's not an IMAX.
It's in the stadium in a seat.
Courtside, and it was a live game going on. I was courtside between the Dallas Mavericks and the Golden State Warriors.
Wow.
And we were literally like we were in stadium seating, and they would bring us drinks and whatever. God, I can't remember the name. It's almost like that MSG Sphere, but it's a smaller version. And
Cosm, right?
What's it called?
Cosm.
Yeah. Unbelievable. And that's the future. Like the weirdest part though, and I was sitting with a bunch of tech people from Victory Plus, and they had a glitch. So one of the screens, so they, say they have 1,000 screens. One of them had a glitch. So the ball would go through and they couldn't see, and you could see all the engineers around me just losing their stuff, going, "Oh my God, I can't believe that they would, program that or whatever." So it was unbelievable to see from a fan's perspective, but that is the future. And then they would change camera angles. We're sitting in our seats, and then all of a sudden you're literally courtside underneath the basket, watching them come towards you. And then TV timeouts, they're sitting at the bench, you're right there, and the coach is talking. You feel like you're involved in it. Like it was an unbelievable experience. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Get you back on the bench during the game.
Yeah.
I mean, you're down low there anyway, I guess.
Are you
exactly?
Are you working the next 2 weeks? Are you sneaking off, or what's the story here with Four Nations? Because you guys aren't rights holders.
Yeah, no, we did our boys trip on the weekend. I went to Waste Management. Well, I just crawled home on Monday.
You're looking pretty good for a guy who's Waste Management.
Well, and how weren't you up with Biz singing?
Well, I was right there, side stage.
You were.
I'm not. What do you? I've seen them 100 times. I'm not going up on stage. I've sang with them during rehearsal and stuff. There's not enough alcohol on the planet to get me up there, and maybe.
I was gonna come on now.
We'll see, but it was good. That was our Friday night. Saturday, we did Waste Management Tyson Nash got us. We were in a suite on hole 16, I think it was, and that was. I didn't watch one shot. I thought it. It seemed like I could hear like the cheering and stuff. And then the Sunday we went to a Super Bowl private party with Mike Commodore. Commie took us, and that was, man, is he dialed up? Yeah. Like I can't explain. The house that I was at, I've never seen a house like that. I'd never in my life. And I've got friends who are billionaires, and this house was in the, like, these people were multi-billionaire. It was gross.
Yeah.
But good weekend. Crawled on the plane. Luckily I didn't have to fly it home on Monday. And had the vodka voice for a couple days, but I'm good now.
Is Nash part of that group of athletes out there? They kind of Thunderbirds, like the stone cutters.
Who's the Thunderbird? Is that Darcy Horchuk? That guy is a mayor. My God, like
legend.
But yeah, Nasher's dialed into all of those people. Saw the Wizard Ray Whitney and his wife, and had a good chat with them. Dave Scatcherd. It was all NHL players there. We ran into Taylor Pyatt.
Izzy.
Yeah. God, he's a good-looking guy. Still,
got the eyes.
They love him. They love him.
Just Shane O'Brien. Like, there was just so many all the business buddies, right? Brad Richardson, all of those guys. They were all kicking around, and we kind of did our thing because we were older guys, right? Those are younger. Yeah. So there's old and there's newer.
Yeah. So Biz is something else, right? Like it's quite a show he runs.
Well, he's become, he's a media mogul, right?
He really is.
He's dialed in on a lot of different fronts. But, I have mad respect for him because he puts the work in. Like, you see him, listen, his life is fun. Definitely. I think he's single. I don't know. But, he puts the work in. He's in Atlanta, and then he flies back. He's doing his pod. He's doing events left and right. I don't fault anybody. And you're certainly not jealous of them. You're happy for them because, this guy is really built himself into something and puts the work in to do it. So I'm happy for him. I don't know him that well, but we stay in touch. And certainly had, some good chats the other night when we ran into him and stuff. And the Nickelback concert, but they're great. It was 10,000 people, and they put their show on, and we hung with the band after. So it was kind of cool.
It's crazy to think, because it was basically him, the podcast for sure, but it was him who took down Mike Babcock.
Yes.
If he doesn't tweet or say anything, is Babcock still coaching the Columbus Blue Jackets?
Well, something else would happen, or someone would have told Tommy. Yeah. No, Biz has broken some news, a lot of it, and he's not afraid to. And, he was critical of Bedard in the last 2 weeks, and that's something that a lot of guys wouldn't be comfy doing. And I think he made some valid points, and he's turned into a great analyst, and more than that, he's just a supreme entertainer. You watch him on that panel with Wayne. Wayne loves him.
That is, like, Wayne really does dig.
What I like about TNT has the big panel on the basketball side. They're must watch, right? Even if you don't watch basketball,
so good.
Yeah, they're so good. And I think TNT is like, okay, they get it from a standpoint. It's like they're in the entertainment business. So they hire entertainers. Obviously, it doesn't hurt that Wayne Gretzky's on the panel, Henrik Lundqvist, guys like that. I'm sure they've got a large budget for it, but it is an entertaining panel. They try. ESPN, same situations. The panels and stuff.
No, it's not the same.
It sucks.
No, I understand. What I'm saying is what they've tried to do is have big personalities and star players. You've got Subban, Messier on one side. You've got Gretzky and Lundqvist,
but the thing of it is, and just I don't even know what's the point you're making, but the basketball one works because Shaq and Chuck, they like each other. The TNT one works with hockey because Wayne does like Biz, and you feel that it's not. I don't think Messier and
PK can't be bothered to be in the same room the moment those cameras
and
are
they're
off.
trying.
They can't stand each other.
They show videos. Hey, here we are messing around on the private jet. It's like, no, it's.
I think that one's more forced. You can tell because if you know the people off camera, they're oil and water. They're not. They're not connected that way. But at the end of the day. You look at stuff that they do, and getting back to Biz, like Biz has created, a brand for himself, and good on him. I think that's, we forget sometimes we are in the entertainment business, so you need to be affable. People want to relate to you. People want to, that's what makes you guys successful. People, you sit there and people want to have a beer with you. People want to talk. They want to. I think that's what the formula is in today's media is you've got to be relatable.
Yeah, we're tearing it up out here, Noodles. You've seen it. You saw it firsthand.
I was at your drinking party in December. Yeah. And Tommy was there in Phoenix. So I was talking to him. He's like, I haven't seen you. And he goes, that caught me off guard. And I said, well, I knew what I was getting into, but I said, I couldn't drink. I had to work a couple hours later. So I said, and I go, you had no excuse, though. You could have got after it.
You had to go to his eye doctor. Apparently the results were dog shares. Like, yeah, maybe go back sober next time. The doctor thought you were floating in booze.
Yeah, exactly. That was fun.
Well, we've got, we started off the show. We've got the fever. We've got Four Nations fever out here. We can't wait.
Dean can't stand up right now. It's just hearts to Twitter, sweaty palms.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. I'll tell you where I'm at. Tell me where you guys are at. I had zero time for this tournament leading up to it. Okay, like I'm talking about a 25% interest. Mm-hmm. We're naming teams and who's going to captain it and doing all these things. And they kept saying best on best. And I'm like, nah, kind of not really. I mean, Kucherov, Draisaitl, Shesterkin, Vasilevsky, Panarin, there's a lot of guys. But I said countries, for what Canada has, US, Sweden and Finland, they're trying to put their best foot forward. As the tournament has gotten closer, I have gotten a little bit more excited. If I was at 25% before, I'm at about a 75 to 80% now. And the reason being is I've got the feeling that this isn't going to be all-star team effort. Like, I feel like they're going to bring these guys are taking pride and they're going to get involved in it. If that's the case, I'm in. And
that's where it's landing for me. It's an all-star game with give a shit.
Right.
Well, it can't look like an all-star game. We've said it before. You can change everything about this tournament if the games are good, and it can be a success in the future. If the games aren't good, I don't know what you do.
I don't think you're going to see, I think there's going to be some intensity, and I think it'll surprise people once the game gets going. The game in the National Hockey League is not, we talk about it every week. It's not fierce. So, guys aren't running each other through the boards in the NHL. I think you're going to see high skill, high compete, and it's not going to be overly physical because it's going to be just like the regular season in the National Hockey League. So you will see the compete. Maybe when the chips are on the line, you might see guys blocking shots and taking hits to make the play and all that. But I think at the end of the day, it is going to look like an NHL game, just with a lot more better players condensed.
I think Canada, USA, that's got a chance to be the two best hockey teams we've ever seen play each other in our lives. You look through the talent.
Yeah.
What would be up there?
The Cup in the 80s.
Sure. Gretzky, Lemieux. That'd probably be the only team that could hang with
you're
McKinnon
not even giving Howard Chuck any love. I think you got to go through that lineup.
No, I know. But you got Crosby's the third best forward in this team. That's pretty damn good. Right?
I'm not saying it's not, but you're flippantly saying that team was.
Well, even those teams with Eric Lindros and, Gretzky and there was, I look at it, you're right. On paper, we've got a lot of skill. Do you guys have any inkling? Is there any chance that we could see a Finland win this thing because they played against?
Beat up. I asked that about the Swedes because that's the team I'm supporting. I loves the beautiful blonde ladies from Sweden. So I'm taking on the throne of the Swedish crowns. And anyway, I don't know. That's what I was thinking. Like, if you're coaching that team, Noodles, are you not going into that dressing room, the Swedes or the Finns, saying, "Yeah, we're skill wise, we're not playing that way."
Yeah,
there's one puck, and there's only so much time to play. Let's shut them down.
And if you look at international hockey, the Swedes and Finns are really pesky. Like they a lot of those programs, those guys play all the way up. So there's chemistry immediately. So, and they go home in the summer, they all train together, they're all buddies, all of that. And I think they will know too. Like, the coach is going to remind them, you guys are severe underdogs. They're going to know from what all the buildup is, and all the pundits, all the social media, all of that. I think that they'll have a chip going, we got something to prove. And you're right, there's one puck, and a lot of those guys know how to defend. So to me, if I'm Sweden, going limit time and space, play 5-on-5, don't give them a chance in the power play. And, we could win a 3-2 game if we get some saves from our goaltenders. And the other thing I'll say, I'm worried, and I think they'll sort that out pretty quick. But, Boomer said, you said there's only one puck. Is McKinnon going to be deferring to Crosby, who defers to McDavid? And, is it always like, oh, you take it. Like, I watched their power play breakout this morning on the news, and it was a double drop. So it's Makar skating it up, dropping it back to McKinnon, who skates it up, dropping it back to McDavid. I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? Just skate it in and get it sorted out. Like, that's where I worry they're going to get too cute. And instead of just going, we're trying to score and win the game tonight. And that's where you might have a 2-on-1, and it's McDavid with Crosby, and he wants to get, the captain.
He wants the Gretzky to Lemieux.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think you got to be careful with that, because top players have to have some selfishness to them. They've got to take the shot because they know they can get it done. And that's where I wonder that maybe early on they're going to get too cute or defer to my teammate. I want to make sure we got chemistry, so I'm going to have that extra pass. I'm going to have that extra play, and maybe Sweden breaks it up and goes like that. In my mind, Ekholm is thinking, because he's an elite defender, there's going to be an extra pass there. There's going to be an extra play. And you start having good sticks or closing off on guys, you can surprise them. That's the way I look at it.
Where are you at on the goalies? You okay with Binnington starting? I thought they'd go with Aiden Hill, to be honest.
You know what? I thought Binnington was going to start the whole way. Like last year, I thought he was going to start. And the reason being, I say this all the time, and all four of us have played road hockey when we were kids. You play, you say, hey, it's game 7 of the Stanley Cup. I'm Dale Howardchuk. I'm Yari Kerr, whoever you idolized growing up, right? You don't say it's a Tuesday in Nashville, Tuesday in Carolina, and this is game 43. Or, hey, it's a 4 Nations face-off. We're going to, you play game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. Well, Binnington has played a game 7 of Stanley Cup final on the road and won it. I think he's played at the highest level. Doug Armstrong trusts him. I think it was like, hey, this is our guy. If it doesn't go well, we'll go to Hill, who's won a Stanley Cup as well and played on the biggest platform. So I think that their philosophy is going to be the Detroit Red Wings philosophy with Chris Osgood in net, where you've got a great team in front of you, and Ozzy plays really well for you, but he doesn't have to win you it, but he can't lose you it. You got to make the saves that you should. So to me, that's what they're looking for from their goaltender, is just to be steady and make the saves you should.
How old's your son?
7.
Yeah.
Is he into it, excited? Or should we expect him at 7 to be revved up for?
No, I mean,
can I answer too?
Yeah, you go.
I don't think they're excited because these kids don't watch hockey games.
They've never seen international hockey. You think about the last time we had a tournament.
They never sit down and watch a hockey game anyway. The other day, I could have taken them to the Saddle Dome. The spoiled brats are like, who's playing, right? They don't sit on the couch and watch a 60-minute hockey game. They check Instagram and YouTube and the clips. It's a different approach.
I've got one kid who's dialed. The other twin does not care at all. But the one that's dialed, it's like, how do you even explain international hockey? It was amateurs going to Pyeongchang in China. He's never seen Crosby and McDavid on the same team because we haven't.
Yeah, I mean, my son, I take him purposely. We'll take him to a game once a year or twice a year. Last year, we kind of got lucky. I was, working for TSN doing the finals there, Edmonton, Florida. So I brought him out for game 6, I think. And, it was great because I got tickets. I was working. My mom could keep an eye on him during the day while I was working. And then I brought him to the game, and it was kind of cool. We ran into Bob Nicholson, who I've known for 100 years, as we're walking over to the game. And, Nick says to my son, who are you cheering for? And my son goes, Florida. And I was like, oh my God, it's the president of the Oilers, and Nick had his son too, I think, who's early 20s or whatever. They both started laughing. And my son was innocent. He's like, my dad used to play for Florida.
That's right.
And I was like, okay,
son.
It was fair. It was a fair comment, but I'm like, dude, the Oilers, they were kind enough to leave us some tickets that I had to pay for, but I at least got some. So I was like, we're going to cheer for both type of thing. And I'm neutral anyways. I had friends on both sides, but it was kind of, that's the innocence of like my son saying that to the president of the Edmonton Oilers at the time.
Yeah. What are the boys? How's everybody on overdrive? How are they feeling?
All right.
Level wise.
Me and Hayes is on holidays right now. We did a players only show yesterday, which was fun. O-Dog hosted and Frankie Corrado sat in. So it was good. Honestly, I think everyone right now, we're all in the same boat. It's February. You're kind of like getting through like the games of, the beauty of the NHL was so much parity. You're scoreboard watching every night. Because it's like, I laid it out the other day in the East. There were 9 teams that were 10 points apart. Yeah. So if you have a 5-game stretch, you go 0-5, you got teams that are jumping you. All of a sudden, you're changing positions in the standings. It's not good. And conversely, you win 5 in a row, all of a sudden you're leapfrogging. So to me, every point is critical. But, when you look at it, I think everyone's kind of, wake me up, trade deadline and the stretch. So I think you want to get through 4 nations. And then I think we're going to see some real desperate hockey down the stretch.
Well, we want to talk to you all day, but look.
Yeah, we want to talk to you, about other stuff, but
like what?
I don't know.
The Flames?
I'd like some Phoenix stories.
Management, please.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind some Phoenix stories.
Was it his Rammy? I heard that last year it almost got out of hand.
Last year it was out of hand. This year, I think they buttoned it up a little bit. And our group is you got older guys, so you're just hanging on to make it through the days and the nights. So you're kind of like
you're in the suite. You're not in the mosh pit there.
Exactly. And you know what? One day, you start drinking coolers or whatever at noon, and you're done at like 2:00 in the morning. You almost drink yourself sober because you're just kind of like, hey, it's sober, drinking. It's just one of those things where you're like, all right, end of the night. We'll see you later. I need a piece of pizza on the way home and get a good sleep. And, but to me, it was great atmosphere. I'm not a golfer, but the Sunday night after the Super Bowl, there was a guy named Gary Woodward, and he was at the bar. We were at a little dive bar, and there were some caddies and singing.
Woodland.
Sorry.
American, you won a major, I think. Yeah.
It's what did I say? Woodward? No, it's Woodland. Sorry.
Yeah. You're thinking of Adam Woodward, who used to run Cowboys.
Yeah, no, not Adam. Not Adam. I know Adam, but James Neal was there. Got a chance to have a chat with the real deal, and just some good dudes. It was just lots of laughs, lots of fun, and some karaoke. I didn't sing, obviously. I just watched, but some good times. Waste management. I think it should be on everybody's bucket list. If you're, Phoenix is Scottsdale, beautiful area, great weather. The tournament was done well. Food, you run into people. There's a lot of Canadians down there.
How busy? Wow, it's waste management, so it's busy. Yes.
Yeah, there was some, for me, there were some like just bars out of nowhere. That's like, oh, that's a tent. Oh, that's a bar. Like they're just everywhere you turn. They make entertainment the focus. So
like Stampede.
Yeah, you know what? It reminded me a lot of Stampede, for sure. But,
did you get one of those autonomous Ubers or no? Last question.
Oh, I've driven those. Yeah, like those are awesome.
I did at like 4 a.m. I came back to the pizza place. That pizza was good. I'm going right back. Ordered one. No driver in this car.
Yeah, it is a little bit jarring early on because you're like, okay, you're looking around and it just takes off.
Wheels just turning. Like, oh.
Literally picked, it pinned me. And it said, stand right there. And it drove up and the door popped open. I was like, it couldn't have been more creepy, but more cool. And then, it was driving kind of on a main street. So it was going about 60 miles an hour. So it's like changing lanes and I don't know. It was a weird, once you got over it, I was being a bit of a dink too. I was talking, are you having a good day? Trying to pretend I was talking to the driver. There's just no driver, but it was cool. I enjoyed it.
All right, fella. We'll let you get on your way. Appreciate you as always.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. We'll chat a little later.
Sounds good.
Sure.
Okay. Peace.
Jamie McLennan.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.